This is the Indian Newslink podcast series, The Wellbeing Revolution by Anushka Bajaj. Hi Anushka, welcome back to the Indian Newslink office. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Daryl. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah. And last time we talked about health.
Yeah, we did. We talked about, the importance of good health and the steps that we can take to just start to think about, things, lifestyle changes that we can make to improve our health. And so we just sort of scratched the surface of, the importance of feeling good and what a healthy life should look like.
Okay.
Yeah, and today, a very, very interesting and important topic. I thought we could touch on children and children's health today.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, because I think, there's a lot of information out there about what we should be doing with the kids, what we shouldn't, and what we should be exposing them to, and what's good for them and what isn't. So I think, that'll be a really good subject of discussion for today. There's so much information out there, and there's, lack of awareness that, sometimes we kind of, overlook the importance that good nutrition has a part to play in children's development and also their mood and their productivity. I think the important thing to really touch, to talk about is, the different things that we need to be aware of. And, firstly, of course, for kids, number one is nutrition. There's so much, there's so much advertising out there for the wrong types of food. And children are vulnerable. They, will believe everything. Yeah. And, parents often reward children with the wrong things just so that they can either pacify their child or just to make them, calm them down. And often we're giving them the wrong things to eat. As a parent, there's no wrong, it's just being aware of how the child will be impacted. And just the knowledge that, okay, if I give my child a sugary drink, how is that going to impact their mood, their productivity, their energy levels. So it's just an education. It's not wrong to have a sugary drink. It's just we do it, we limit it, So I think as a parent, if you're aware of the, let's call it side effects, and, as a parent, you will naturally restrict things like sugary drinks. And I think everyone's aware that sugar is, not the best for our children. And I think it's because, research now is showing that sugar, causes inflammation. It causes inflammation in the body, it causes inflammation in the brain. It sends out chemicals into the system that can often cause like an addiction, like we crave sugar all the time. And so it's just sending out signals that are not natural for our body to react to. Yeah. So things like we have noticed that a lot of children are not able to focus at school. And they're not able to stay alert. They get tired very quickly. And obesity. The rates of obesity are, quite high. So parents just need to be aware that good nutrition, which is good, wholesome food that is cooked at home. Our dals, our rotis, sabji, anything that's cooked at home is great. And yes, give your child some treats occasionally, but also make them aware of the risks. If you have too much junk food, your productivity might be not as good as if you had an apple or if you had a bowl of grapes.
Yeah, but how do you convince kids to do that? Like, if you tell them your productivity is going to reduce, most kids are probably not going to care.
Exactly, they're not going to care. They're not going to understand what productivity means. So a simple way is just to say to them that, you can have, a chocolate once a week, but if you have it more than once a week, it's going to affect your teeth. You don't want to end up going to the dentist all the time with cavities, and so you sort of make them aware of how it's going to affect them.
Yep.
And also you just explain to them that it's long term. It can have some we won't say serious side effects because they're very small. They might not feel as healthy or as strong as they could be, because children are still very sensitive, and we don't want to put fear into them. We just want to make them understand that this is healthy. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you fitter. It's going to make you more alert. You'll be able to be more productive at school. It's good for your brain health. It's good for your teeth. And, you want to perform on the sports field, and those are the things that kids will pick up. And naturally, if they see the harmful effects of bad nutrition, they will themselves start to refuse, the processed foods, the sugary drinks. Yeah, so nutrition is very important. And then also another really important aspect of children's health is movement.
Yep.
Really, really important for children to exercise, to pick up a sport, to go out for a walk, to engage in, even if it's board games. But movement is very, very important. So games like, Twister, where you have to move around, and,
Yep.
Anything that involves movement is a must for kids, because it just releases endorphins for them, and it just makes them feel really happy. And, of course, at the same time, it's good for the body. They're not sitting stagnant. They're out there, they're engaging with sport and people, so it keeps them fit and active and healthy, and allow them to do whatever sport they want. There's no stigma that girls shouldn't do certain sports or boys shouldn't do certain sport. Just allow them, as long as they're moving, as long as they're outdoors, even if they just want to go for a walk or fresh air or pick flowers, encourage it. And then I think another really important one is sleep. Sleep is very important for our children, because a lot of children nowadays are not getting enough sleep. And of course, that's going to affect their morning mood. It's really hard to get them out of bed. They're going to be tired. They're not going to have time for breakfast. And that's just going to, roll on to the day. And just by the time it's afternoon, they're just going to crash, and they're not going to retain any information. And then you've got a child who's tired, who's going to, perform tantrums. And so it's just, so if we can have good sleep hygiene, just have a regular bedtime where, they've had their dinner, they have their shower, maybe read a book or play some music, and then, lights out at a good time, and they've got a good 9 to 10 hours solid sleep. And of course, on the weekends, it's fine if, they want to stay up late because it's Friday or Saturday. That's fine. Just allow them to do that. But during the week, especially during school term, just maintain regular sleeping hours. I know it's a challenge, but sometimes you have to sort of say, look, 8:30, or depends on the age of the child. You can do whatever you want, but by 8:30, let's turn the lights off and we'll go to bed. So sleep's very important. Yeah, and then the other thing is devices. I know how you guys are familiar with little kids sitting on their devices. iPad babies, sitting in restaurants, just, you've got your family dinner and you've got the child sitting on their iPad. There's just no engagement at all.
Yes.
And guilty, yes, we all are as parents. We use devices as babysitters.
Yep.
Right? Because we want to get our work done. I need to get the cooking done, I need to get my laundry done, and the child is asking me too many questions, or, so just take the phone, take the iPad, just sit there and just keep quiet. It's not doing any benefit to them. Yeah, in fact, it's doing more harm to them because they completely lose all social skills. They also forget how to communicate with people. If you go to a restaurant, the whole idea is to be out with family, to communicate with each other. And I think we've lost that ability to communicate, especially our younger generation. Unless you ask them a question, they don't speak. I don't know if you've noticed that, right? It's like, how are you? What are you doing at school? And you get very short answers. Okay, I'm okay. How was school? Good.
Yeah.
Tell me more. No. So, that is a really, really important thing, is limit screen time and the use of devices. I mean, we all use devices. There's some really good information that we can get. But if we're using a device as a babysitter or as a tool to keep our children quiet, I think, there's other ways that we can do that, and that's, we'll touch on this topic in another podcast, but there's so much else as a parent we can do instead of handing our phone to the child, because we want them to be able to communicate. We want them to be able to speak. We want them to be able to use their knowledge rather than just sit on the device and give us yes/no answers. It's very important for them to be able to communicate. And I think even writing, the children are not writing as much as they used to. Everything is texting, screen, or and language is struggling because everything is abbreviated now. Like TGIF and all these abbreviations, that's how kids are speaking these days. And so we're losing that connection. So there's a lot we can do to help our children and also their health. As parents, we have it difficult nowadays because there's so much outside influence. We never had social media, we didn't have devices, in the earlier days. And this is the world our children are growing in. They're growing in this world where, it's technological. So we as parents also have to move on with the times. We can't, we're not living in, the time where we were growing up. So we have to evolve as parents as well, and we have to accept that this is a modern world. Technology exists, social media exists, outside influences exist. So we have to adapt as well. We have to adapt our ways, and we have to also accept it. And that's quite a hard thing to do because we're so stuck in our old ways. But just by accepting it and setting boundaries, limiting screen time, also, engaging. What is your child actually watching? Is it relevant? Is it going to give them any, educate them? So I think it's really important to, navigate your child through what is acceptable, social media, what is acceptable, devices, and so we as parents have to navigate them through that. But also we have to accept that times are changing. We're not saying we're not going to give our child the device, and we just need to set some boundaries. With nutrition and mental health for children, a lot of what we're feeding our children is full of chemicals, full of preservatives, full of sugar, and science is indicating that a lot of conditions like ADHD and autism, a lot of these conditions are being linked back to what we're feeding our children. So a lot of these chemicals are affecting the development of the brain. Things like sugar are affecting their mood. So a lot of parents are struggling with children who just throw tantrums and are not being able to perform as best as they can. So just staying away from highly processed food, food that's not home cooked, and anything that's in a packet, question it, look at the ingredients. If it's got more than 3 ingredients, if it's got a whole list of chemicals and preservatives, and just be aware of those things. And you can, the best way to do it is do a trial, like give your child some a week of really healthy home cooked vegetables and everything, and then see how they feel, see how they perform, and slowly introduce it, like if your child is hates to eat vegetables, just kind of hide them. I think we'll also do, like, over the next few weeks, I'll be sharing some recipes that I'll show, kids meals that where you can hide your vegetables, where your child will not even know. And so there's so many different ways that we can help children through nutrition, through exercise, sleep, but food is definitely a big one. Yeah, it's very exciting, and I've got so many ideas for kids' school lunches, for meals, and just to make things easier for parents, because sometimes we don't have time. But these are very quick recipes, and they're ingredients that we can find every day. And especially for school lunches, we can stay away from all the packet chippies and the lollies and the sweets, and so I'll be giving lots of different ideas, and I'll be showing everyone like what a healthy meal box should look like, and of course, if anyone has any questions, they can always send through questions, and if they have any suggestions or anything, we're always happy to adapt as well. Yeah, so lots on there.
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Anushka.
Most welcome. Yeah, time goes quickly, doesn't
Time
it?
goes
There's
way
so much to
quickly,
talk
yep.
about, and and I'll share my email address.
Yeah, we'll put it on the episode.
Yeah,
notes.
we'll put it on the episodes, and please feel free to email me any questions, any help, any I'm happy to help.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you for that, Anushka.
Yeah, thank you for
We'll
having
see you
me.
again very soon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, take care. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Indian Newslink podcast series, The Wellbeing Revolution by Anushka Bajaj.